If you've just been named executor of an estate, you're obviously carrying a heavy burden right now between grieving for your loved one, managing family dynamics. You're probably asking yourself, what is it you need to do first? So a few things in the first 30 days are genuinely urgent. Thankfully, most things aren't. So this video is going to tell you exactly which is which. My name is Ryan Smith. I'm a licensed realtor and certified probate expert. So every day I work alongside families navigating probate and estate administration. Before we go any further, I'm not an attorney, but what I'm sharing with you here is educational based on my experience of helping other families. It's not specific legal advice. I do highly recommend meeting with an estate or probate attorney who specializes in this area. If you need a recommendation, please feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to connect you with somebody. Also, this video isn't the complete picture of the entire role. I have that laid out in several other videos. This one specifically is about the first 30 days. What's urgent and what can wait. Let's start with what actually can't or shouldn't wait. First and foremost, order several certified copies of the death certificate. So you'll need these almost immediately in dealing with institutions like banks, insurance companies, the Social Security Administration, and I recommend always get more than you think. At least 5, usually 10 to 15 copies, just to have them. Next is secure the property. If there is a home that's going to be sitting temporarily vacant, change the locks. Document the condition of the home. So get boots on the ground there to take photos and video of the inside and outside of the house. At the same time, you want to identify and secure anything that's irreplaceable, valuables, important documents, jewelry, firearms, things like that. And really, that's it for the first few days. Everything else, you've got some breathing room in a few days to plan and prep for. Now let's talk about the phone calls you need to make, because obviously some people need to be made aware of the situation. First is the Social Security Administration. If your loved one was receiving Social Security benefits, they need to know about that right away. If they don't know, obviously they're going to continue to send payments, and those payments will need to get returned. So the longer you wait to do that, it can just make things more stressful and complicated. Next is life insurance companies. You'll want to go ahead and start the claims process as soon as you can. So some policies have a specific filing window. The process itself can take some time, so it'll be less stressful for you if you start those processes as early as possible. Next is the employer. If your loved one was still working, there may be a final paycheck in waiting, there may be unused benefits, there may be life insurance through work that needs to be claimed, so go ahead and give them a call. Next would be the banks and credit card companies. You want to do this as soon as possible, first and foremost to protect against fraud. I see this happen all the time. It also starts the process for you of understanding all the accounts that exist in the estate that you'll need to take inventory of later. Next is the post office. Go ahead and forward that mail to a place where you can get it. You'll be surprised how much important items and documents still come through the mail versus digital. Now, as you're making all those phone calls, there's a legal process that needs to start in parallel with that. First and foremost, file the will, if there is one, with the clerk of the court in the county where your loved one lived. So if you're here in southeastern North Carolina like I am, you'll be looking at the clerk of court for New Hanover or Brunswick, Pender counties, Onslow counties. If you need help in identifying where that is anywhere in North Carolina, feel free to give me a call. I'd be happy to help you find it. Next, you'll want to petition the court for your formal letters of authority, which is either letters testamentary if there is a will or letters of administration if there's not. These letters are your legal ID badge for the estate. So until you have them, you don't technically have legal authority to act, which is why starting this as soon as possible will be less stressful for you down the road. One more thing worth knowing early on is that if there is no will, all the heirs at law typically need to sign off before any real estate in the estate can be sold. So every situation is different. Confirm your specific authority with a probate attorney before making any decisions about property. I see this derail families on many occasions. The whole process here isn't going to be instant, so the sooner you start, the sooner everything downstream can begin to move. And this is why I recommend doing some of these things on week 1, even though none of this is going to get finished in week 1. Now let's talk about protecting what the estate actually owns, because there's a few things here that are more urgent than most people realize. And the first one is vacant property insurance. If there's a home that will sit empty, go ahead and call the insurer now and ask specifically about vacant property coverage. Most standard policies often lapse after 30, maybe 60 days of vacancy, which means the clock's already ticking on this one. So go ahead and do that. Next is reverse mortgages. This is one of the more urgent, or can be one of the more urgent items in the first 30 days. If the property had a reverse mortgage, the loan typically becomes due within a defined window after the borrower's death. So you don't want to miss that window. It can put everything at risk. If you're not sure whether a reverse mortgage even exists, checking on that is a priority. Vehicles. Confirm if there is insurance still active. Make sure you know if anybody's driving those vehicles, especially family members. Go ahead and locate the title and registration for those vehicles. Now let's talk about what actually can wait. And this is just as important because I see a lot of personal representatives, once they realize that there are some things that are very urgent, they can oftentimes think that everything's urgent. That causes a lot of stress, and it's not necessarily the case. There are some things that you're allotted a fair amount of time to handle, and that there are specific deadlines to work off of. And first and foremost is the full asset inventory. This is where you're identifying every account, every asset, every collectible. This doesn't have to happen in the first 30 days. Most states will give you a window of several months to do this. And if you're working with an attorney, they will help you with this as well. There's also softwares online. I can help connect you with some of those that can help make this a little less stressful and a little more organized. Also, paying off debt and settling all the debts. That comes after the formal creditor period notice, which in itself takes time to run. So that's not something that has to happen on day one. Distributing anything to heirs. That absolutely should not happen in the first 30 days. Distributing things early before debts and taxes are settled, that can create personal liability for you and inevitably a lot of stress for family members. Another thing that can and should wait typically is selling real estate. That is obviously going to have to wait till after you've secured the property, after you have the legal authority in hand to actually make decisions on the property. And this is oftentimes one of the larger, if not the largest, ticket item in the estate. So you don't want to rush into this and make decisions that are going to cost you more time and money down the road. Here's one thing that I would encourage you to do early, even though it's not a hard deadline, and that's engaging with a probate attorney in that first week or two. You don't have to use one. I highly recommend at least sitting down with one, explaining your case, doing a consultation, and making sure you're on the right track. It can save you a ton of time and money down the road. If you do need a recommendation for one, as mentioned, I can help connect you with one here in North Carolina. If real estate's involved, bringing in a realtor who specializes in probate early on, it just means you'll be able to get a clear picture of your options before you're under pressure to decide anything. You'll have smarter and hopefully more calm conversations with family members if you have that information early on as well. In addition to connecting you with those realtors that specialize in probate and attorneys that specialize in probate, you may also find you need CPAs, appraisers, other vendors. I can connect you with those at no cost. If you're like a lot of the families I help and managing this from out of state or far from the county where probate was opened, if you're in North Carolina, especially if you're in southeastern North Carolina, we can handle everything for you locally and communicate with you wherever you are. Many of the personal representatives that I help tell me that the first 30 days was in fact the most stressful part of this whole process, and it makes perfect sense why. I just urge you to simply handle what's truly urgent now, make your list of what needs to get handled down the road, and build your team that can help you through the process. If you want or you need a complete picture of the entire role of a personal representative or executor, I have other videos on those that can walk you through all of it. Thank you for watching. As always, reach out anytime. Schedule a no pressure consultation. I can learn more about your situation. I can learn if and how I might be able to help down the road, and I can connect you with the people that can make this a less stressful process.